So thank you for the crowd. This is just unbelievable. Thank you for coming. Light. It's all about light. There was chaos, and the world appeared and imposed some order, or at least the categories that make the world look kind of ordered. And what the word said was light. With the word light came conscience. It's not that clear what happened next, but the word could see that there was a higher place and a lower place, that all was covered by water and that itself floated on top of it. Then the word kept saying things and land rised, the animals, Adam and Eve, Ur, Nineveh, the Egyptians, Mesopotamia, the Clintons. But before anything, there was the word and then light. What a writer does is to shed light through words on things, hard to explain actions, extraordinary moral decisions that will produce an irrevocable change and will become, as Cervantes had it, exemplary of something. A good piece of writing is a lamp. The noun that describes the service provided by it is illumination. A bunch of years ago, so many that as Cervantes, again, I don't want to remember, I went with my friend Gustavo to the highlands of the Sierra Madre Oriental to see that Mexico that resists untouched the 500 years old occupation of the country. It was the rainy season, so as we got close to the esoterical Nahua town of Quetzalan, the fog was so dense it tasted like a Rice Krispies cake when you bite it. The road was hard to follow under those circumstances. The signs planted 20 inches far from the way could not be seen. We were moving so slow that there was a moment in which something big and dark that we guessed was a horse passed us. I was driving, so I honked it lightly so the person in the animal, in case there was one, stopped so we could ask for directions. A couple of young pure Nahua men carrying hunting rifles and a string of just killed hair came to the window. One of them spoke Spanish, a tremendously old and beautiful 17th century Spanish full of Mercedes and Encinas, and gave us a set of instructions to make it to the town that was the only one with an hotel in the region. I was certainly nervous driving in that situation. My car was a Brutalist Tsuru sedan, whose flag Virtu was its nickname, the tomato. It only had one set of lights completely useless in the context of a fog like that. They didn't have piercing power. It was as throwing light to a mirror. And night was about to fall. Once you cross the Tropic of Cancer, light vanishes really fast when the time comes to end the day. It was maybe that nervousness what made the silly conversation that followed so memorable for me. Did you got anything of the instructions? I asked Gustavo once he closed the window. Of course not, he said. I could not concentrate, wondering how they could hunt in a day like this. Maybe they have traps, I said, and just have the rifles in case a big cat or a wolf shows up. He said, or they turn on a switch on top of their ear to light up their halogen eyes. I love the image. The Nahuas, a super evolved people, better equipped not only than us, but even than the tomato. I was still a radio journalist then. I had not yet left everything to dedicate myself to the mysterious vocation of only reading and writing. I could not know, not yet, that writers too have halogen eyes to shed light on the opaqueness of the world. Like be done, say the wonderful set of writers that we will hear reading tonight, and their halogen eyes pierce the darkness of our times. The spirit manifests, floats as a drone over the circumstance, gets to know itself, and the words drop one piece at a time to make themselves understood, to illuminate that mysterious, superior level of reality that is a world in which everything has a meaning because it was written. We have come a long way since we began this still young and delicate tradition of the Dreaming Out Loud event in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe during the exhausting week of the Penn World Voices Festival. We went from, let's make a 10-day workshop because everybody's talking except the dreamers themselves, to a full functional literary production machine that works 24/7 in books to come. Last Friday, I timidly asked in our weekly meeting if I was going to see the dreamers again next week, and they got offended by the question. Of course, we will meet next Friday. Literary careers are on the make here. I have personally passed from how the hell will I teach this so confused kid how to tell a good story in a language I don't fully control, to just sit and listen in awe the incredibly sophisticated pieces of fiction, non-fiction, and poetry that they read in our meetings. We have gone from forcing all the writers in the shop to have an opinion on what was just read, to let them discuss, help each other, propose solutions to technical problems. I am not exaggerating. If you belong to the happy few that comes every year, you will see that talent attracts talent, and if we were a soccer team, we would be now fighting to get into a small but now professional league. Some of them are publishing material now, some even at the international level. People has put money, institutions have opened their doors to us, a group of quiet supporters have made their job to facilitate that we keep meeting, writing, producing, with the very, very humble objective of saving the world through light and words. Thanks to all, really. I don't think I have to say it because it's self-evident, but thanks to all of your work, this is the best literary yearly event in New York. The only one as intense as an HBO series. The only one in which people cries and laughs and leaves the room exhausted and drained as if they had watched a basketball game. All this to say that the kids are all right and are still here and standing. That those motherfuckers out there will be out of office, confronting universal opprobrium and maybe in jail, and the pen dreamers will still be standing because they are brave. I hate this freaking moment of the reading. It happens every year because they are brave and they are talented and they work their asses off as no one else in this country, and they always win.